back to my channel. So I managed to get the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette for half price because it was marked down because it was the holiday items and it's no longer the holiday season. I didn't realize that was the reason I got it marked down. I thought that there was a glitch on the Sephora website and it showed up for $48 and I'm like, I will take that. I figured like if it was a glitch then the worst they would do is just refund it. But I got it for so cheap and I'm so glad I managed to pick it up because it is beautiful. It is enormous. The matte shades aren't as good as I was hoping. They are a little bit chalky. Some of them show off a little bit ashy. Like this purple, you would think it would be a very bold, intense purple, but it's kind of like a grayish purple. So that kind of sucks, but the metallic shades are amazing. They are so pigmented and shimmery and it's just beautiful. I feel like the quality of the metallic shades though definitely make up for the quality of the matte shades, and the matte shades are still good. They're just not as good as I had hoped. So I decided I would do a 3 looks 1 palette tutorial. Obviously that's so easy because like look at the amount of shades that are in here. Like I barely needed to try. But the reason I chose to do this video was because when I opened the palette I was just overloaded with ideas, and I knew that if I didn't do a video like this then I would be doing videos with this palette for months. So I thought I would just get 3 of them out of the way in this video, but I definitely will be putting up more videos using this palette because there's just so many colors and I can't wait to use them all. Anyway, I have rambled way too much right now. If you would like to see how I got this and 2 other looks, then just keep watching. So for the first look, I went with something a little more grungy. I thought I would use all of the neutral tones in this palette. First I'm taking the shade Bone and I'm using this to set down my eyes and give it a nice clean base. Next I'm taking the shade Suede and I'm buffing this into my crease. Because I'm doing a halo eye, I'm making sure I bring this right into the inner third and I'm also focusing it on the outer third. Also just sweeping the shade onto the lower lash line. Next I'm taking the shade Oak and I am focusing this on the inner and outer thirds. I'm also taking this onto my lower lash line, making sure it joins up with the shadows on my lid. Once I've placed down the shadow and roughly blended it out, I'm just going in with a bigger, fluffier brush to make sure it's all nice and seamless. And next I'm just taking the shade Velvet and again I'm just putting it in the inner and outer thirds, just warming up the shadow a little more. Next I'm taking the shade Synergy and I'm packing this in the center of the lid where I left space with the other shadows. Once I've set this all down on the lid, I'm just taking the brush I was using for the previous shadows and making sure that's all blended. And then I'm just taking the shade Flash and I'm using this to highlight the center of my eye a little more to add a bit more dimension. And then I'm just highlighting the inner corner with the shade Glitz. I decided to skip falsies for this look because it is a halo eye and I feel like those are the perfect eye looks to skip falsies. So I'm just going in with my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara and I'm really coating my top and bottom lashes with this. And for the lips, I'm just using my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Sepia. So that is it for the first look, which is a little more grungy. This next look is very colourful. I wanted to use some of the blues in the palette. It's also a half cut crease. I'm starting off with the shade Bone, again just setting down my eyes so that it's got a nice clean base. Next I'm taking the shade Suede again. I'm just using this as my transition colour, just running it through the crease and focusing it a little on the outer third. This will just make the blue shadows a little easier to blend. Next I'm taking the shade Velour and I am buffing this into the crease and outer third. I'm going to be laying this down and then going in with a bigger, fluffier brush and making sure it's nice and blended out. And then I'm going to keep repeating that until it's at the intensity that I want, but it's also properly blended. Next I'm taking the shade Jet, which is just a matte black shadow, and I'm just deepening up that outer third a little more. Next I'm starting my half cut crease. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer in the shade 0.5. I'm just doing a half cut crease, so I'm just carving out the inner half of my crease. I'm making sure to bring this higher than my actual crease. I do have slightly hooded eyes, so if I don't bring it just above my crease, then you don't really see it when my eyes are opened. Next I'm taking the shade What, and I was originally just going to use this for all of that cut crease because it seemed like it was going to be more green than blue, but it didn't stand out as much as I would like, so I'm going in with Ignite on those edges of the cut crease just to make it a little more defined. And just to add a little more definition, because I feel like it was lost a little, I'm just going back in with that matte blue shade, and I'm just putting this right on the line where I cut the crease, just to make that cut pop a little more. And next I'm taking the shade Nebula. I'm going to put this in the center of the lid. This will just blend the metallic green shades into the matte blue shades. And then I'm just running the shade Silk all along my lower lash line. Next I'm using the Kat Von D tattoo liner. I'm just doing a typical winged liner, although I'm making it quite big because it's a quite intense look. And then to highlight my inner corner, I'm just taking the shade Tinsel. So I'm just popping on some mascara. I'm just applying my Too Faced Better Than Sex to my top and bottom lashes. And then I'm applying my Glam by Manicure Stellar lashes. And for the lips, I'm just using my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Catnip. Alright, so that's it for this bold, colourful look. The next look is still pretty colourful, but it is a lot more subtle. Once again, I'm starting off with the shade Bone, just making sure my eyes have a nice clean base. Then I'm going in with the shade Feather, and I'm just putting this in the center of the lid. I'm going to go in and intensify it a little more later though. Then I'm taking the shade Fringe, and I'm just buffing this into my crease. And I'm also just taking this onto my lower lash line. Next, I'm taking the shade Silk, and again, I'm just buffing this into my crease, just deepening it up a little more. I am going to be winging this shadow out quite a bit. And again, just bringing it onto my lower lash line. Next, I'm taking the shade Ribbon, and again, just deepening up my outer V and crease area a little more, as well as bringing it onto my lower lash line. Next, I'm just going back in with that shade Feather, which is the yellow shade, and I'm just packing this onto my lid again to make it a little more intense. And I'm just taking a really big fluffy brush with the shade Fringe on it to help it blend into the crease shades. And I'm just going to highlight my inner corner and brow bone with the shade Glitz. Once again, just using my Too Faced Better Than Sex on my top and bottom lashes. And I'm using the same falsies again. These are just the Glam by Manicure Stellar lashes. And for my lips, I am first lining them with my Essence lip liner in the shade Satin Mauve. And then I'm going in with my Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Cocoa K. And that is it for this final colourful look. Alright, so those were the 3 looks I did with the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette. I'm going to do Hogwarts houses inspired makeup looks, but I want to know, would you prefer that I did a separate video for each house, or would you prefer that I just put them all into one video like I did with this? Let me know down below. Also, let me know which one of these looks was your favorite, and if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed already, then feel free to do that while you're at it. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video.